Hi there, welcome to my channel. So we are going to solve Cambridge IGCSE Mathematics Paper 2 Extended, Variant 2-2, May-June 2017, question number 18 onwards. For question number 1 to 17, please watch part 1. Question number 18. A rectangle has length 62 millimeter and width 47 millimeter, both correct to the nearest millimeter. The area of this rectangle is a millimeter square. Complete the statement above the value of a. So these two numbers have been rounded to the nearest millimeter. Millimeter means 1 millimeter, right? So whatever you are rounding to, you divide it by 2. That is going to be 0.5. Let's write down the length and the width, 62 millimeter and 47 millimeter. If you want to find the upper bound, you have to add to these numbers 0.5. And for the lower bound, you are going to subtract from these numbers 0.5, resulting in 62.5 as the upper bound of the length and 47.5 of the width, and 61.5 is the lower bound of the length and 46.5 of the width. To find the area, you know that we multiply, this is the lower bound and this is the upper bound. You know that we multiply length times width for the area of a rectangle. So for the lower bound, multiply these two numbers, and for the upper bound, we are going to multiply these two numbers. So we will get 61.5 multiplied by 46.5 and 62.5 multiplied by 47.5. This is the answers you will get. For the limit of accuracy or the upper bound or the lower bound questions, you need to write the whole answer the way you get in your calculator without rounding or anything. Question number 19. In a triangle PQR, PQ is 8 cm and QR is 7 cm. The area of this triangle is 17 square centimeter. Calculate the two possible values of angle PQR. Let's first just draw the triangle here. So this is the triangle with the information given to us. PQ is 8, QR is 7. The area is 17 square centimeter. To find the area of a triangle, there are two formulas. One which we use when one of the angle is 90 degrees. But this is not a right angle triangle, so we have to use the other formula, which is area of a triangle is equal to half AB sine C. The angle in the middle is your sine C. It should be between the two sides given to us. So writing this down, area is equal to half AB sine C. Area is 17. We have been given the two sides, 8 and 7, and we need to find Q. So sine Q. Now this, bring to the other side. It will be 17 divided by 28 is your sine Q. Whenever you want to find the angle, let's write it first like this. Sine Q is equal to 17 over 28. We just shifted places. And Q is equal to sine inverse 17 over 28, which is 37.38. Rounding to one decimal, 37.4. So one answer is 37.4. Whenever you are using the sine rule, you can have two answers for the same angle. The other angle will be 180 minus 37.4, which is 142.6. Question number 20, write as a single fraction in its simplest form. If you are solving a fraction question, whether only with numbers or algebraic fraction like this one, the rule is the same, that you need to have a common denominator before you add or subtract. So that's our first part we are going to do. Have a common denominator. We are going to multiply 3 with x plus 1 and the same in the numerator. And this side we are going to multiply by 3. I'm sorry, I wrote the number wrong here. It's 2. Multiply by 3. Now the denominator is same, so we can write it as a single fraction. No need to expand, you can leave it like this. 2x multiplied by x will be 2x squared. 2x multiplied by 1 is 2x. Negative 1 multiplied by x is negative x. And negative 1 multiplied by 1, negative 1. There's a minus here in the middle. 2 multiplied by 3 is negative 6. So 2x squared. 2x minus 1 will give us 1x. Minus 1 minus 6 minus 7 over 3x plus 1. So we have written it in its simplest form. Question number 21. Y is inversely proportional to square root 1 plus x. Whenever you have a inversely proportional question, we write down y is equal to k over whatever equation has been given to us, which is in this case square root 1 plus x. So our main idea here is that we need to find k. Replace the x with 8 and y with 2. That will give us 2 is equal to, k square root 1 plus 8. 2 is equal to k 3. 2 multiplied by 3 is equal to k, which is 6. After you find your k, write it in the equation back, and then let's read the question. Find y when x is equal to 15. So k is 6 and x is 15. Y is equal to 1.5. Question number 22 is a factorizing question. In this question, you can see that you have a t square and a u square, and 9 is also a square number. So we can write this as 3 square t square minus u square. As both of these are square, we can write it 3t square minus u square. A square minus b square is equal to a minus b and a plus b. This is a very important identity. It comes quite often. So now what is our a in this case? 3t. And what is our u? A b, it is u. So we just now write it in this format. 3t minus u and 3t plus u. Next, 2c minus 4d minus bc plus 2bt. So in a question like this, we separate the two terms here and two terms there. What is common we see here? We know that 2 times 1 is c and 2 times 2 is d. This 2 is common, so we remove that out and we will be left with c minus 2d. And always remember, in a question like this is written twice, so c minus 2d. When you factorize these terms here, you must get c minus 2d. This makes it easier. Now what will come out? What else is extra there? Negative p, right? So we remove the negative p out. And you will write the outer terms together, 2 minus p, and the bracket we will write it one time, c minus 2d. Question number 23, we have been given a Venn diagram. P is the students who study physics and C is the students who study chemistry. and the number outside is the students who don't study physics or chemistry. 1. Find the number of students who study physics or chemistry. Physics or chemistry means union. So it means the whole of physics and chemistry. We have to add these numbers together. 5 plus 11 plus 8, that is 24 number of students. Next, find the number P intersects C complement or C dash. I prefer to call it not C. So we know it is not in C. Whatever is not in C. What is not in C? All of this is not in C. And it intersects P. It means which is in P. The not C part which is in P is the only P part. So remember, P intersection not C is the only P part, which is 5. Next part of the question. A student who does not study chemistry is chosen at random. So does not study chemistry is this, and this part is chosen at random. Find the probability that this student does not study physics. So does not study physics. This number of students does not study physics. And the total number of students are 5 plus 7, which is 12 who don't study chemistry. So that's our answer. On the Venn diagram below, shade the region D union E complement or D union not E. D union not E is everything except, I'll write down here, D union not E is everything except only E. And D intersection not E is the only D part. So D union not E is everything except only C. So all of this except the only E part. Question number 24. We have been given in the diagram AB and CD are parallel. So these two lines are parallel. AD and BC intersect at X. And we have been given the values of AB, which is 8, CD, which is 4, CX is 2, and DX is 2.8 centimeter. Let's read the first question. Complete this mathematical statement. Triangle ABX is similar to triangle DX. Next, we have to calculate AX. So this is the side we have to find. Before that, always draw two separate triangles. We have this one triangle. Let's draw the other one here. So this is the triangle and DC is 4 centimeter. And we have to find AX. There are different ways to solve this question. You can write, we have been given the value of AB and the corresponding side. So you can write 4 times the scale factor. Scale factor can be written as K also, R, some teachers write. It's fine. That will give you 8. So what is K? K is 8 divided by 4, 2. This is your scale factor. Now, if I want to find AX, what is the corresponding sign? DX. DX multiplied by my scale factor K will give me AX. DX is 2.8 and our K is 2. So 2.8 multiplied by 2 is 5.6 centimeter. So that is 5.6 centimeter. Then we have the area of triangle ABX is y square centimeter. Find the area of triangle DCX in terms of y. To find the area of triangle DCX, we know that the scale factor which we used was from the small triangle to the big triangle, right? So area of triangle DCX times the scale factor will give us the area of triangle ABX. But because it is an area, we have to square our scale factor. If it was a volume, we will be cubing it. So we have DCX multiplied by our scale factor, which was 2. 2 square is equal to y. Therefore, area of DCX is equal to y divided by 2 square, which is 4. That is the answer, y over 4. Simplify. So remember that the power is for both the terms which is inside. 16 to the power of 3 over 4 and x 16 to the power of 3 over 4. Put this in the calculator and you will get 8. For x, if we have two powers, we multiply them. So 16 multiplied by 3 over 4 will give you 12. Now for this question here, you have to find the value of p. Before we solve for the indices, we have to remove all the numbers on one side. So p to the power of 3 over 2 is equal to 54 divided by 2, which is 27. To find p, remember I told you, you have to flip this when you move to the other side or write it as its reciprocal, 2 over 3. And you will get 9. P is equal to 9. Question number 26, a circle theorem question. So A, B, C, D and E lie on the circle. This is the circle. And AB is extended to F. So it's a straight line. Angle AED is 140 and angle CBF is 95. Find the values of X, W, X and Y. You need to be very particular in looking at and understanding the angles given to you. You may know all the rules, but it sometimes becomes a little difficult if you're not very observant. So in this case, we are going to use the rule opposite angles in a cyclic quadrilateral equals 180. So which angles are we talking about? And what is a cyclic quadrilateral? A cyclic quadrilateral has all its four vertices touching the circumference of the circle and the opposite angles equal to 180. It's always not such a perfect quadrilateral, in a easily understandable diagram. It's not given to you. Now look here. We are talking about this quadrilateral here and opposite angles equal 180. So W plus 140 is equal to 180. So what will W be? It will be 180 minus 140, which is 40 degrees. Next, we have to find X. ABF is a straight line. Therefore, this whole thing equals to 180 because angles in a straight line equals to 180. We don't have this angle. To find this angle, we have to subtract from 180, 95 and 40. This will give us 45. So this is 45. Now again, to find X, we can see that this is a cyclic quadrilateral. Therefore, X plus W plus 45 will give us 180. So we write it x plus 40 plus 45 is equal to 180. Therefore, x is equal to 180 minus 40 minus 45, which is 95. And now moving forward to finding y. For finding y, we are going to use this theorem. Angles in the same segment from a common chord are equal. What does that mean? If you have, you know that this is a chord, right? So if you have two angles starting from the same chord, you have this one here and this one here, and it touches the circumference, this angle is going to equal to this angle. We'll see how it's applicable for y now. This is the chord DC, and this is the angle y, and we already found this angle 45. So what is y equal to? 45. Question number 27. We have been given 2 points A and B. Find the equation of the straight line joining A and B. We have to first find the gradient. To find the gradient, we use the formula gradient is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Let's write down the point here, A and B. Now, if you want to find the gradient, make a circle like that. So it will be written as 0 minus 4. And then the next one, the x values, negative 2 minus 0. This is going to be 2. And then we use the formula y is equal to mx plus c. We substitute the y, m, and x. You can choose whichever point you want. I'm choosing 0 and 4. So in place of y, we are going to substitute 4. In place of m, 2. And x, 0. This will give us 4 is equal to c. And then replace your m and your c. M is 2 and c is 4. So that is our equation of the line joining A and B. There's another way you could have done this particular question. Let's understand what is C. C is your y-intercept. What does y-intercept mean? It means the y value of the point that cuts the y-axis. We already know that B is 0 and 4. So what is the y value of the point that cuts the y-axis? It is 4. So instead of solving to find C, we could have directly written the gradient, which is 2x plus C, which is 4, and got our answer. Part B. Find the equation of the perpendicular bisector of AB. This is A, this is B. For finding the equation of the perpendicular bisector of AB, we need to find the gradient of the perpendicular bisector. For that, you need the gradient of the line AB, which we have found in the previous question, 2. So the gradient of the perpendicular bisector is going to be negative 1 over m, which is negative 1 over 2. What you need to understand that suppose you have been given a gradient. Gradient is equal to, this is an example I'm showing you, 3 over 2. And you want to find the perpendicular gradient. It's going to be negative 2 over 3. So basically, we take the reciprocal of this and change the sign. Or we flip it over and we change the sign. Suppose you had another gradient, let's say negative 4. What is the perpendicular gradient going to be? 1 over 4. Because every number has in its denominator 1 if there's no other number there. So the reciprocal of negative 4 is going to be 1 over 4. We have to put it positive. That's how you find the gradient. The other thing you need to find is the midpoint of AB. To find the midpoint, we use the formula x1 plus x2 over 2, y1 plus y2 over 2. So what are our x's? This is equal to negative 2 plus 0 divided by 2, and the y 0 plus 4 divided by 2. This will give us negative 1 and 2. So that's our midpoint. Using the gradient that you found and the midpoint, we are going to find the y-intercept, which is the c in this equation. Replace the y with 2, the gradient with negative 1 over 2, and x with negative 1 plus c. You will get 2 is equal to half plus c. Bring the half to the other side, it's going to be negative half. So 3 over 2 is equal to c. After this part, we are going to replace the m and the c. So y is equal to m, which is negative half x, and c, which is equal to positive 3 over 2. This is how you find the equation of the perpendicular bisector of AB. Write down the points so that you remember it very well. It's a 4-mark question. This brings us to the end of this video. I hope I've been able to help you. Kindly subscribe to my channel, like the video, and do share it with your friends. Thank you for watching.